In this tutorial, we are going to deploy our e-commerce application using Next.js on Ubuntu Server and have it on a domain like this. It is https yourdomainname.com. For this purpose, we use Amazon Lightsail to create Ubuntu Server. It's 3 months for free. PM2 as process manager on the Ubuntu Server. MongoDB Atlas as database, and we use Hostinger to create a new domain. If you are ready, let's deploy our website on Ubuntu Server and have it on a domain like this. In this tutorial, we are going to deploy our Next.js application on Lightsail AWS. What we're gonna do is to create Ubuntu Server and deploy application there. Beside Lightsail, you can use other platforms like DigitalOcean, Google Cloud, or Microsoft Azure. Because Amazon Lightsail has 3 months for free, we are going to use this one. So what we're gonna do, just go to this address and click on Create an AWS account. After this, you need to enter your email, verify email address. If you have account on AWS, just click on Sign In and log in to your Lightsail dashboard. After login, you will see this page. And what we need to do is to create an instance. Click on it. Here you have a lot of options. Based on your location, you will have instance location here. You can change it. Then it's time to pick your instance image. We are going to use Linux and OS only. We are going to keep it as clean as possible. Select Ubuntu, latest version of Ubuntu. Here, based on current time, the latest Ubuntu version is 22. So there we are. Select this option. Scroll down. Select 3 months for free. If you want to use better plan, you can choose it here. And by default, it's set a name for your instance. Scroll down and click on Create Instance. After a while, when you click on the Home Amazon Lightsail page, you will have your instance running here. Based on the plan, after buying the VPS, the next step is getting static IP address. Select your instance, go to Networking, and here you need to attach an IP address to this Ubuntu instance. Click on Attach. I already did it, so I have the attach here. And after a while, you will have an IP address like this. Also, inside the IPv4 firewall, make sure that you have this rules here. SSH TCP/22 should be open. If you don't have any of this, just click on Add Rules. Select, let's say, HTTPS and click on Create. Do the same for HTTP and click on Create. So make sure your firewall rules are like this. Do the same for IP version 6 firewall. Great. We did the networking part of Ubuntu deployment. And the next step is connecting to the server. What we're gonna do is to download the default SSH key. So you just need to go to the Connect tab, scroll down, and click on Download Default Key. Then open downloaded file here. Copy this. Then go to User folder, make sure that you have open hidden file, and then go to .ssh folder and paste it right here. Change the name to Lightsail default key, and then it's time to change the mode of this file to 400 to be able to use it using SSH command. Copy this command from terminal menu, click on new terminal. We are in the project folder, the Next Tailwind Amazon project, could be any Next.js application folder, and change the mode like this. The next step is connecting to the server using this command, ssh-i, and link to the Lightsail default key PEM file. Username is Ubuntu, and the IP address should be the IP address that you have in the network tab, the public IP address. Copy this and paste it here and press enter. For the first time you may have a question, just type yes and press enter, and at the end you will be successfully connected to your Ubuntu server, and here you can do anything that you want with this Ubuntu server. Next step is installing Node, because for deploying Next.js application we need to have Node. There are a lot of ways to do that, but to get the latest version of Node, this one is the best way. First of all, run sudo apt update to update all applications. Next step is adding the Node to the list of apps in the Ubuntu using this code, curl-sl. Next step is calling node source.setup using this command. Press enter. And the last step is installing Node.js using app install command, sudo apt install. Great, we successfully installed this application. To make sure that everything works as we want, just run node-v. We are using the latest version of Node in this application. Next step is installing nginx, because after running the web server, we need to map it to a domain. So we need to install nginx to make this mapping. Like always, to install a package on Ubuntu, run sudo apt update. Then install firewall. The firewall that we're going to use is UFW, and install nginx. Press Y to install it. After installing nginx and UFW firewall, we need to run these commands to enable to open ports for HTTP, HTTPS, and the project port, it's 3001. So first command is this. Okay, we opened port 80 and 443. Then opened this port. After opening this port, it's time to open SSH port using this command. Awesome. And then enable firewall on the server. Press yes. And that's it. Firewall is active. Next step is restarting the nginx using this command. Great. The next part is opening port on the hosting control panel. We already did it in the network tab, and in the firewall section, we opened the ports for HTTP, HTTPS, and port 3000 and 3001. So you need to do it. And after this, the website should be opened. Just open a new tab, copy the public IP, and paste it in the new tab. Awesome. Nginx works as we want. Great, let's go for next step. The next step is creating project folder on the server. While you are on your Ubuntu server, use mkdir to create project folder. Copy this command and paste it here. I'm using -p to create nested folder. I have apps folder, and inside apps, I have next Amazona folder. Next step is editing package.json. Find package.json and add deploy command. In this command, we run the project using npm run build, and after that, we use rsync command to sync the current folder, the project folder, with the folder that we created on the server. Here is the address of the folder on the server. You need to replace this one with your IP address. Let's run it. Open a new terminal. Make sure that you are in a new terminal, not in the terminal that we have for server. So the new terminal is your local machine in your project folder. Save package.json and run this command. What it does is to install all packages and build your project and copy all files to the next Amazona folder on the server. Make sure that inside the db.js, inside utils folder, you comment out line 26 and 27. We don't like to disconnect in production mode. Great. What we did is to deploy the project in the Ubuntu server. Let's test it. Go back to previous terminal on the server and use ls apps/next Amazona. Awesome. Here we have all files inside the server like this. So what this command does is to copy local folder to Ubuntu server on the next Amazona folder. Next step is editing .env file in the server. So what we need to do is to create MongoDB Atlas database and create user password for the database and put it like this. In previous lessons for deploying on Vercel, we created Atlas MongoDB server, so I'm not going to explain it here. What you need to do is to copy the database connection and use it inside the .env file. So what I'm gonna do is to go to the server and use nano in the apps folder, next Amazona, .env. Here is my .env file. I need to edit it like this. For MongoDB underline URI, paste your MongoDB connection. For PayPal client ID, use SP. And the last ones are very important. Next public app URL should be your public URL. Next of URL should be your public one. And next of secret should be something secret. When you changed your IP address to a domain, you need to change this one to your domain name. Save this file using Option X and press Y to save it. Next step is installing PM2. It's a process manager to run our Next.js application on server restart. We need this command to install it. Sudo npm install pm2-g to install it as global package. Then go to apps folder, next Amazon folder, and run pm to start npm. Watch the pages folder for any changes, set the name to next Amazon, use -- to run the start command of npm, and use another -- to pass the parameters. We are going to use the port number 3001 as a project port. Run this command. The project is online. Use pm to logs command to make sure that everything is okay. Yeah. Go to this address, your server IP address, :3001, and press enter. Here we have our project running. If you don't have any product, just run /API/seed to seed sample products. Go back and refresh. There we are. We have our e-commerce website running, and you can go to the pages, products pages, check out, and follow the instruction like this. We successfully deployed our application in the Ubuntu server, and the next step is mapping this application to a real domain. Here it's time to map the server to a real domain. First of all, we need to buy a domain or use a subdomain that we already have. There are a lot of options like Namecheap or Hostinger to buy a domain. I'm using Hostinger. Just log in or create an account on Hostinger. Then go to the domain section and click on Get a Domain to create a new domain. After creating domain, you need to go to the DNS Zoom editor to add the IP address there. Select type to A, set the name to Next, it's Next Amazon project, and put the IP address of your public IP. Copy this, paste it here, and click on Add Record. Click on Confirm. So here, if we run next dot your IP address, whatever it is, we should go to your Nginx application. But I'm going to change it to my project. To do this, we need to follow the instruction here. We need to config Nginx. The next step is config Nginx. Run this command in the server and edit your server like this. Get rid of the first server part. It's created automatically by Nginx. We do not need it because we are going to use our 3001 port to manage the web server. So what I did is to delete all the record in the server like this and add this part. In the server, we listen to port number 80 for HTTP. You do not need to add this one because it's going to manage automatically by certbot in the next section. So just add this line and this one. Here, your IP address should be your domain name. For me, I have subdomain next.codingwithbasir.com. Do not set this part because it's going to be handled by certbot to enable HTTPS, and add the location part. The location for / inside curly brackets, set proxy path to port number 3000 1, not 3000, because we set it for 3001, and that's it. Add this setting. Here is the all content of this file. Press Option X and press yes and press enter. And then reload your Nginx. Using this command, run it. If you refresh your website this time, yeah, your website is running on your domain, but the HTTPS is not enabled. It is not secure. Let's make it secure. We need to install these packages. By running 4 lines of code, we make our website secure. Run this one first. Install certbot and Python certbot nginx. Run this command. Replace example.com with, I'm not going to use www because I'm using subdomain. If you have your whole domain, you need to enable subdomain, the whole domain using www2. Next.codingwebpassier.com, replace it for you with yours and run this command. Wait a while for verification. It says no redirect. I'm going to redirect, so select option 2. So you shouldn't have any HTTP. All requests will be redirected to HTTPS, and that's it. We successfully install it and we are ready to use it. Let's set the timer to renew the HTTPS, the SSL certificate using this command. And at the end, just try run the renew command to make sure that everything works as you want. Awesome. We try run it and we are ready to test it. So if I refresh, this time I redirected to the HTTPS version of our project. HTTPS. Great. In this tutorial, we successfully deployed our application on Ubuntu Server on Lightsail, and we enabled HTTPS on the e-commerce website. That's it about this lesson. Until next lesson. Bye-bye.